Hey everyone, so you've got a great electronic product and you're eyeing two of the biggest tech markets on the planet, Japan and South Korea. But here's the thing, you can't just ship it over and hope for the best. You need the right keys to unlock those markets. And today, we're going to talk about exactly what those keys are.
So let me ask you directly, are you thinking about selling your electronics in Tokyo or Seoul? Because if you are, you've probably realized it's not as simple as it sounds. There's some serious regulations, and if you don't have the right paperwork, your products are basically stopped at the border, dead on arrival.
And right here, these are the gatekeepers we're talking about. Over on the left, you've got Japan's PSE mark, and on the right, South Korea's KC mark. You can literally think of these as passports for your products. Without one of these stamps, you're simply not getting past customs.
So, here's our game plan. We'll kick things off in Japan and really get into what PSE certification is all about. Then, we'll hop over to South Korea and unpack the KC mark. After that, we'll put them side by side to see how they're different, and finally, we'll wrap up with a solid strategy you can use. Sound good?
All right, first stop, Japan. The whole system there is built on something called the Dinan Law. It's a mouthful, it stands for the Electrical Appliance and Material Safety Law, but it's the rule book for everything we're about to cover.
The certification you need is called PSE, and let me be clear, this is absolutely mandatory. It's all managed by Japan's Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry, or METI. Their job is to make sure every single electrical product sold in the country is safe from both a safety and an EMI perspective. Bottom line, no PSE mark, no sale. It's really that black and white.
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting with Japan. They don't have a one-size-fits-all approach. There are two different paths. For higher-risk products, think things that plug directly into the wall, you've got Category A. These need that diamond PSE mark, and you have to get them tested by a registered third-party lab. But for lower-risk stuff, you've got Category B. These just need the circle mark, and believe it or not, you can actually self-declare your compliance. So the key takeaway here is huge. Your product's risk level completely changes the game in Japan.
And don't for a second think this is some niche law that only applies to a few things. As of late 2018, there were a whopping 457 different product types covered by this law. We're talking about a massive range of electronics here.
So, if you're the one bringing the goods into Japan, listen up, because the buck stops with you. You have to register with METI before anything ships. You've got to make sure the right PSE mark is on the product. You need to keep all your certification records handy for inspection, and you've got to file annual reports. These are the rules of the road, and they are not optional.
All right, that's the scoop on Japan. Now, let's jump over to South Korea and take a closer look at the KC mark. This is your ticket into another one of Asia's tech giants. The KC mark, which stands for Korea Certification, is their unified mandatory mark. And while we're focused on electronics, you should know that this thing covers a huge range of products, from household goods to car parts, all to confirm they meet Korean safety standards.
Now, this is a big difference from Japan. South Korea really only has one path, and it's a pretty tough one. It starts with a mountain of paperwork, of course. But then, for most products, it requires a factory inspection and product testing in a lab located in Korea. You have to pass both to get that certificate.
And hey, this isn't a quick weekend project. You need to plan on this taking 3 to 4 months from start to finish. A good chunk of that is just the testing and evaluation, plus you need to schedule those factory audits. This timeline is absolutely critical to build into your launch plan.
So once you finally get that certificate, the labeling rules are super specific. You need the KC mark, the certificate number, and all the usual product details. But look at that last point. I'm telling you, this is the one that trips up so many companies. The user manual must be in Korean. That includes every single safety warning, no exception.
So, we've broken down both systems. Now, let's do a little head-to-head comparison to really nail down the differences that are going to shape your whole strategy. This table really says it all, doesn't it? Japan's PSE system gives you some flexibility with its two tiers based on risk. South Korea's KC, on the other hand, is a single, tough process that almost always requires both product testing and a factory inspection. That's a massive difference. And while you might be able to use some of your international test reports to get started in both places, Korea will often still make you do some local testing. And of course, there's that final nail. Only Korea makes that Korean language manual an absolute must.
Okay, you get the rules now, you see the differences. So let's switch gears and talk about how you can build a smart strategy to actually get this done and get your products to market.
Here are 4 tips that will seriously make your life easier.
First, use what you've already got. If you have international reports, like for CE marking, don't start from scratch. Use them for what's called a gap analysis to see what's missing for PSE and KAC. Second, plan ahead. I know I keep saying it, but that 3 to 4 month KAC timeline is real, so build it into your launch schedule. Third, get your user manuals translated into Korean right now. Don't wait until you're trying to ship product. And finally, check your components. If a critical part, like a power supply, already has its own KAC certificate, it can make your final approval process so much faster.
And hey, to give you a head start, here's a pretty solid checklist of what you'll need for your KC application. You've got your basic forms, your technical specs, all your schematics, factory quality documents, and you guessed it, I'm going to say it one more time, that mandatory Korean language manual. Get this whole package together and you're already well on your way.
So there you have it. Look, the path to selling in Japan and South Korea, it's complex, for sure, but it is absolutely doable. With the right information and a smart strategy, you can get those passports for your products. The only real question left is, which market are you going to conquer first?